OWCP Chats with Chris and Gini. And tonight we're going to talk about what everybody wants to know, all about second opinion doctors. Why you have to go, why does DOL send you there? Why does DOL choose a second opinion doctors over your current doctor that actually got your claim approved?
And how do you beat the second opinion visit?
Yes. So,
which interestingly is a topic that I've never talked about. And hi, everybody, I'm Chris. If you're new here, that's Gini. We are with Federal Injury Centers. Federal Injury Centers is a franchise with doctors that are there to help you when you get injured at work.
Yes.
We created that company because before that, anytime you got hurt at work, you had nobody. And that was a serious problem for you. So in response to your serious problem, we created this franchise. So check out www.federalinjurycenters. Be sure you put an S on the end. www.federalinjurycenters.com. And you can go to the very top of the page. There's a red button that says locations or final location or something like that. Click locations. And alphabetically, the states are listed and then the cities below it. We've got roughly 60 offices in about 27 states and counting. So go check that out if you're somebody that needs help with a work injury that happened at a federal agency. That's our specialty. We're happy to help you. We've got high 90 percentages, like 97%, something like that, claims accepted. And our return to work rate is also in the high 90s. So you can rest assured that if you go to Federal Injury Centers, the great likelihood is your claim will get accepted and you'll get back to work so you can clock in and get paid.
Yeah.
That's what we're all about. But we are Chris and Gini, and this is Wednesday night OWCP Chats, where we teach you about things related to OWCP. Whatever problems you're having tonight,
yes,
you can type a question in the comments. We'll answer it. You won't have that problem tomorrow.
Yeah, and it just reminded me. I remember when he was talking once, we started the show, and this lady gets on and goes, "That girl's not even paying attention. She's on her phone."
Welcome to my world.
But here's the thing. I'm sharing. While he was just chatting, I'm sharing. So now I have to go into another page and share. So that's what I'm doing. But
you can do that too, by the way.
Yeah.
All of you should share this to some page. If you have a group page with your union, share it there. If you've got friends, what do they do? At and their friends' name?
Yeah, you're gonna, if you want your friends to come and see this right now, if you don't want to share, which we really would like you to share, do the @ sign and then put the name, because then it'll highlight that blue and they'll get the notification.
Yeah, so if your friend Bob Smith should hear this, do @ Bob Smith, right, in the comments, and Bob will get a notification that this is happening. But that's so important because Jeannie and I have been doing Wednesday night chats since 2016.
Yep.
We have trained at countless union events, thousands and thousands of people in the audience over the years. And we've got a podcast. You see the thing scrolling at the bottom, Breaking OWCP Podcast with Chris and Jeannie. Go download that wherever you like to listen to podcasts. But the point is, we've done all this. I've written 4 books called Breaking OWCP. Go check it out. And in spite of all of that, still the vast majority of people still haven't heard of us, and they don't know that we're here doing this and helping. So you can help your friends just by letting them know that, hey, there's this couple, Chris and Jeannie, and they're helping us with work comp. That's what we're doing.
There's a few of you that wind up, and I know how this works. When you have a union Facebook page, whatever the page is, like Florida RCAs, when you invite me, for me, when you guys do that, knowing what we do, I wind up I post twice a week on your page what we're going to talk about for chats, and then I share the video as we are live right now. But then I get like the nastygram from Messenger says, "Stop posting on this page." Well, then go ahead and remove me from the page instead of saying that, because I can't keep up with the 187 pages that I'm on and not on. So if I share, it's because I'm just sharing. But I guess what needs to happen is a lot of you that are just members of that page are inviting us or inviting me on the page.
Which we really appreciate.
Which we don't mind.
That's super cool.
But I don't need to be on there, because for my benefit and your benefit, I'm sharing so you can get the knowledge and education and the training that we do. So if I'm not supposed to be on there, completely remove me. Or if you do add me on, admin this is me and this is what we're posting.
Yeah, and no problem. If you don't want us there, that's okay.
It's okay.
Look, your members need it. We had somebody the other day say, we don't need the help that you offer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so who else is doing this? Nobody's the answer. But whatever. We're here. We're happy to be here, and we're glad you're here. So tonight we're talking about
second opinion issues.
Yeah, so many things trigger a second opinion doctor visit. And we've been getting a lot of questions related to second opinion visits. So tonight we're going to discuss it. I don't promise you that at the end you're going to like the answers, but at the end you're going to understand.
Yeah.
And that's the whole key to this. A lot of the stuff I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to like, but it is what it is. The system is built the way it's built. And our job is to help you navigate that system and understand why things are happening, when they're going to happen, and what you do about it. So that's what tonight's all about.
All right, what I am going to do, all right, I just finished sharing. So what I am going to do, I'm going to go back into our chats page, because on the post, the actual post that I made about, we're going to talk about second opinion doctors, there were some questions on there, and I'm going to see if we can help those people and get those questions answered. So let me see. Is it on here? Okay. Let's see. That's not it. That's not it. Okay, here we go. All right. There was 5 questions on here. All comments. So this is from the post that I posted to you guys. Jamie Cook. I've been trying to get approved for surgery for almost 3 years, and now I can't even work because my situation has escalated so much. For a question like that, you'd have to give us a little bit more detail, and I know it's a lot just to put on the chat here because then it comes up as a big page. So you can, Jamie, if you're on, or if anybody knows Jamie Cook Trammell, tell her to message me and we could help her. Okay, Cindy Adamson. What can you do if they say they will not send all documents in that have not been written by a doctor, but the doctor has signed them? How can they pick and choose what documents can be sent in? Also, what can you do if you don't feel like they are sending your right MRI?
Okay, so I don't know who they is in this case, but let's just say hypothetically that they is everybody in the world. You have access to your own eComp account, so get your own stuff and eComp it yourself. That's the bottom line. Get all of your records and you eComp it. If someone's refusing to eComp records, that doesn't make sense at all, even a little bit. But you have complete autonomy and authority over your own eComp account, so do it yourself.
And I said that. eComp your stuff yourself. You can always get your records from your doctor. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay.
Yep.
So let me go back. I see some of you. Hello from Idaho, Northern Idaho. Hello, hello. Cheryl, federal workers comp is making me go to a referee. Okay, let's start from there.
Yes, we're going to talk about referee doctors, but referee is part of the second opinion doctor, or CCOP. It's part of that whole system, so we'll discuss that too. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of jump into it.
Go ahead.
So second opinion doctors, I've read everything there is to read on second opinions. I've got a binder at home, a 3-ring binder, with all the rules, laws, and regulations related to second opinion visits, because it's so frustrating. You know, so we operate a franchise with doctors in, as I said, 27 states. And our patients frequently get sent to second opinion visits. Second opinion visits almost always result in something bad that happens to the patient. So we're always trying to avoid these second opinion visits. But some of the things that trigger second opinion visits, the number one thing is that you've got a diagnosis that's out of line with the amount of time you've been off of work. It's easy to get a sprain strain approved. If you're out there, now I want you to all hear me right now. If your approved diagnosis is a sprain or a strain, okay, it's like lumbar sprain strain, knee sprain strain, or anything like that, you need to know that you're probably next on the list to get a second opinion visit. That's probably coming for you, especially if you're still out of work. The reason that is it's easy to get a sprain strain approved. I could do it. I'm not even a doctor. I can do it. But let's say that you're somebody that's got, and I have knee problems. I have like serious knee problems, really bad. So you're like me, but your diagnosis is knee sprain, right knee sprain. Well, your claims examiner, your nurse case manager, everybody, the second opinion doctor for sure, they're all going to think, well, that should have resolved already, whatever already is, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever, 12. It should have resolved already. Why are you out of work? Or why are you not full duty? Why are you still on limited duty? What's going on with you? Why are we paying you OWCP benefits for a knee sprain? Why didn't that heal already?
Right.
But you got an MRI. And we hear this all the time. But Chris, I got an MRI. And the MRI shows that I have an ACL tear. Well, guess what? The ACL tear isn't an approved condition. And so it's not recognized as part of the claim.
Right.
And you can get to the second opinion visit and that doctor will know, or you may say, or here's my MRI. I have an ACL tear. ACL is a ligament that goes down the middle of your knee. And it doesn't matter. It's not part of the approved claim. So the second opinion doctor is going to say, well, you should be better. You're going back to work. It doesn't matter. You have an ACL tear. They're going off of your approved condition, which is sprain. So that's the most frequent reason for someone going to a second opinion visit. They're out of work and they have a diagnosis that doesn't make sense for why they're still out of work. So you need a diagnosis expansion. You need your doctor to write a letter or a narrative report explaining why that ACL tear is actually the problem. It's not a sprain. You have a torn ligament that's surgical, and we got to get that fixed surgically. And then we need post-op care so we can get strong and back to work. Now, how do I know? Because I've had that on both knees, so it's an easy one for me.
Correct.
But if you just had a sprain, the second opinion doctor is going to say, well, you need to go back to work. It's been 12 weeks. You're better.
Normally a sprain, you're healed up in 12 days or so, pretty much, if you just do what you're supposed to do.
But you could literally like limp in to a second opinion visit with crutches, okay? And that doctor is likely going to look at you and go, I don't know why you have crutches. It's just a sprain. It's like they put their medical license on the shelf over there and forget that they're doctors. And then the other thing that happens is the claims examiner writes specific questions to them. And I don't know what the questions are. It depends on you. But the question might be like, should this person go back to work considering their condition is sprain? Well, duh, of course you should. And you should have gone back because it's a sprain. So you got to make sure you have the right diagnosis. That's number one. It's the most common reason to get a second opinion visit. And second opinion visits, I think 9 out of 10 times result in something negative for you.
Yeah.
So you can avoid those by communicating with your doctor and saying, hey, doc, I'm really not better. How in the world is this just a sprain or whatever? Can we please get an MRI, which you should have gotten already. When you come to federal injury centers, we just get the MRI. And because we want to know now what's going on so we can avoid second opinion visits. But, that's what you got to do. So that's number one. And that's really important. Another reason that you might go to a second opinion is, man, that one's so frequent. It's just the diagnosis is wrong. So a diagnosis expansion.
And
So,
I know, hold on. I'm going to read this question because it actually goes with the diagnosis expansion. It's from, Barbara said, please educate OWCP case managers. I wish we could, but we can't.
If they wanted, I'd be happy to do it.
Yeah. Cheryl said, I'm approved for COVID, but not post-COVID syndrome. I'm getting paid. Wait, is that the same person? Yeah. I'm getting paid monthly on my periodic role. What about COVID and post-COVID? They refuse my diagnosis expansion. Good question.
Well, if they refuse your diagnosis expansion, you got to look at the denial letter and find out why. There's a paragraph in there that says specifically this is denied because, and then have your doctor go back and address that paragraph and write a new narrative explaining whatever problem they're having.
She said, I'm in a long haul COVID claim.
Yeah, it's somebody that's, yeah.
And don't forget, when you guys are filing, and this is off topic, when you guys are filing for COVID, because it's still happening, it's okay. You have to file it on a CA2 through eComp.
Yeah, COVID CA2.
Okay, all right, you can go from there.
Okay, so another thing that happens is that diagnosis expansion that I was just talking about. Well, now we're adding new diagnoses, and sometimes the claims examiner will say, whoa, not so fast, and they'll do a second opinion. But you got to do the expansion when you got to do it. But what we tell our doctors is be very thorough in the front. Don't need to do an expansion later. Get the imaging now. Get, neurology or, nerve testing, right? Like whatever you got to do it right now so you don't have to do an expansion later. Let's just prove the case up all the way from the beginning. So that's the way we like to do it. But when you do a diagnosis expansion, sometimes the claims examiner gets, confused. which is fine. They're human. And they say, well, let's let a second opinion doctor take a look at this and see what they think. And, they normally think something that I don't like.
She said, they say my doctor is doing a good job and won't allow Federal Injury Clinic to be my primary physician.
It happens. It happens. We deal with this. I don't know why they do that. All of our offices, all the doctors are fully credentialed with Department of Labor. Medical doctors, nurse practitioners, PAs, chiropractors, physical therapists, physical therapy assistants, you name it. Like, we've got it all. And sometimes they just, they don't approve it.
Yeah, a lot of times too that we hear is because you live closer to the current doctor you're going to, and maybe Federal Injury Centers is like 2-3 hours away. They would prefer you just staying at your closer clinic because they don't have to pay your mileage.
The other thing is, if your treating physician is a specialist like an orthopedic surgeon, they don't like to switch down from an ortho to any sort of a general practitioner.
Right.
That they struggle with that. They like specialists. That's their thing. Specialists who aren't trained in OWCP, but they really like it.
Yeah. So let me start reading questions.
Yeah. Let's read some questions.
All right.
And I'll pick it up later.
I'm going to go back to the top. First question. I think I answered most of them. Okay. Penny story. Going to a second opinion in July as requested by OWCP. My doctor just declared me at MMI also. Thank you both for helping me navigate this crazy system. They have filled out a return to work with permanent restrictions. How long does my manager have to find me a job or tell me they have nothing?
Okay, so now we're talking about limited duty offers. And I've read all the rules on that. In fact, I was reviewing them again before we started. And there's nothing in the rules that states that the manager has any time frame to find your limited duty assignment. It just says that they have to make every possible effort to find it. And if they can't, they have to give it to you in writing. They can't. And if they do, they have to give the offer in writing. But it doesn't say what the time frame is. I wish I could give you better answers, but I said in the beginning, I'm not going to like every answer I give you, but that is the answer.
Charlotte Rand from Idaho.
Idaho.
I actually applied to Boise State when I was living here in Utah, but I didn't wind up going there. But anyway, my second opinion doctor said I have permanent disability, but they did not state what the disability was or is. My doctor didn't clear anything up, not knowing what he meant by his wording. Huh?
Well, your doctor is going to have to go in and maybe define what the disability is. I don't know. Or the claims examiner is going to have to ask another question to the second opinion doctor. I mean, that sounds lazy. I don't know how to answer that. I mean, if your second opinion doctor says there's some disability, it would have been helpful for the doctor medically to define what that is.
Yeah. Judy Lynn, my second opinion is the reason I was approved for surgery. He was good to me. I seen reviews. Second opinion is a nightmare. Mine was reviewing my test and he did his job.
Yeah, let me tell you something.
There's a good handful of good
there are some good ones. In fact, there's one at Rutgers University.
Oh yeah, I was going to bring that up too.
Yeah, there's one at Rutgers who's like head of like everything.
Neurology.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And I saw a second opinion letter that he wrote. And to summarize, that letter essentially said to OWCP, what in the hell are we even talking about here? Approve this stuff. So he was awesome. One day I hope to meet him. I mean, actually,
I know.
I am going to beat this guy.
I mean,
one day.
we go to Jersey often,
incredible.
so we could actually meet him.
He's my hero. Yeah, he helped us get a claim accepted that was sort of my life's work, and it got accepted. And so I got to give that guy a thank you.
Yeah, and last week, if you missed last week's chats, go back and watch it because we did go over about claims examiners. And
they're not all bad.
Yeah, they're not all bad. So if you missed it and you wanted to see about what claims examiners says or does, and there was a lot of people, either saying something negative or not, or saying they were good. So go back and watch that video. So let's see. We got Lori Fisher.
Lori.
My second opinion doctor was awful. The subjective findings far outweighed any objective findings. Objective findings are few and far in between. In fact, the objective findings are most in areas of pain and tenderness. Actually, physical findings are essential. Frankly, subjective recovery she is non-psychologic in her complaints and her causal relationship, and for that reason, I do not find her any particular method to resolve her complaints. Eek.
Okay, so this is going to lead me to the next thing I'm going to say. So how do you get to beat a second opinion doctor? So here's what the claims examiners do. And somebody mentioned a referee doctor a minute ago, so this is about to come into play. So the claims examiner will take the report, let's call it report, the documentation from the second opinion doctor, and we'll compare it to the documentation of the primary physician, your treating doctor. And whichever one that they say weighs the most is the one they go with. If the claims examiner can't decide, they're like, I don't know, that one's good and this one's good, and I don't know, then they get what's called a referee doctor. The referee doctor is always, according to the rules, chosen from a list of board certified physicians of whatever specialty, which I think is pretty cool. But then the referee doctor's got to look at everything and go, okay, this is what I think. And then boom, that's the ruling. But I want to tell you what I think you can do to beat the second opinion doctor if the second opinion doctor is doing a bad job. Now, look, like a couple of you said, man, thank God for the second opinion doctor. Agreed. I said that too. I wouldn't want to beat the second opinion doctor I know from Rutgers.
Right.
Like, I just want to say thank you. But let's say you get an adverse decision from a second opinion doctor and you're like, wait, I was only in the room for 5 minutes and he barely even looked at me. The doctor didn't even touch me. How is this doctor writing a 5-page report on a 5-minute exam? What happened? So what I want you to do, and please, everyone, pay close attention to what I'm going to say next. I think this is critically important. You have the ability at any given time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to upload things to your claims examiner by e-com. I want you to take a pen and paper with you to second opinion visits. Everyone listen to me. If you're about to go to a second opinion doctor, take a pen and a pad of paper. Don't hide it. You're allowed to take notes. You don't have to be secretive. I want to, in fact, get a yellow pad and the brightest color pen you can have. I want the second opinion doctor to know you're taking notes. Here's what I want you to do. Everyone write this down, okay? And I don't have this memorized, so if somebody comes back and says, can you say that again? I might get it out of order, but I'm telling you what to do. Number one, I want you to document the minute you walk into the clinic. I do not want you to round. If you walk into the clinic at 12:27 p.m., do not write 12:30.
Right.
12:27 p.m., I arrived. I signed in at 12:28 p.m. I was called back by the nurse at 12:37 p.m. At 12:42 p.m., the doctor entered the room. At 12:47 p.m., the doctor left, and I never saw him again. And here's what happened in my 5 minutes with the doctor. The doctor looked at me, looked down at the page, wrote some stuff, asked me how I was feeling and what my pain level was and whatever the doctor did. Right. Document everything the doctor asked you. And then the doctor left. And I don't know what time we're at now, but at 1 o'clock, I left the office.
You're right.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. So now you've documented that I arrived. A minute later, I signed in. 7 minutes later, I went into the doctor's office. A few minutes after that, he came in. And 5 minutes later, he left. And he got this beautiful 7-page report off a 5-minute visit. And then what you want to do is you've documented everything that happened in real time. And you want to put that into a report that you can e-comp to your claims examiner. And you can say, dear claims examiner, I just want you to know that the second opinion visit that I went to, this is how it went. Don't put your opinion. I think this is bad. I think the doctor is a jerk. Or
right.
Don't put any opinions in there. Just the fact is, I arrived here. This happened at this time. This happened at this time. This happened at this time. And the doctor did this, this, and this. Didn't do these things. That's it, period. It's not opinion. It's a fact. And then you can put at the end of your letter that you're writing to your claims examiner, so any adverse opinion given by this second opinion doctor, consider the fact that the doctor was only in the room with me for 5 minutes and didn't touch me, didn't look at me, or whatever happened. It's important that you take charge of your own case. I say this about everything. You be in charge. Like if you go to a primary care doctor and that doctor doesn't know anything, you kick him in the butt and make him go. If you go to a second opinion doctor, don't let him ruin your life. Okay, not without documenting what happened. Now, listen, there's no rules. I'm not quoting rules to you. There's nothing in the rules that I've ever read, and I've read everything that said if you do that, that's going to help. But what does common sense tell you? Okay, you have a claims examiner who's also a federal employee. Claims examiners also get hurt. They have to go through this process too. We know senior claims examiners that look at the system and they roll their eyes like, gosh, it's so bad. They think about your supervisors and they roll their eyes, oh, idiot. We know that that's the fact. And so I think it's very important that you just document everything that happened. And if your doctor, the second opinion doctor, says, what are you doing there? I want you to say, I'm taking notes.
Yes, definitely.
Well, why are you taking notes? That's none of your business. Or because I want to. Or because I'm going to tell the claim examiner what happened here. It's okay. I don't want you to have an adversarial meeting with the doctor, but too often these second opinion visits turn into disasters for you. And I think we got to start letting the claims examiners know exactly what's going on. Now, I'll tell you this too. I have a little inside knowledge on this, that the claim examiners believe that the second opinion system is broken. I know that for sure. I know that's what they think.
Yeah.
Okay. For sure. However, the claim examiners don't write the rules. They have to follow them. So you need to communicate what's going on with your claim examiners. And I believe that's how you beat a bad second opinion visit. Oh, and by the way, then go back to your doctor, give those notes to your doctor, have your doctor write a medical report that will be sort of a preemptive rebuttal to whatever BS that second opinion doctor writes.
Yeah.
And then upload it. Because remember, it's the weight of the evidence between the treating doctor and the second opinion doctor. And it's your job to make sure that your treating doctor's evidence outweighs it. You got to make it happen.
Lori Fisher also said, my second opinion, I just got out of shoulder surgery too, and the second opinion doctor said I have 0 restrictions. I already have a CA-17 from my surgery that states 3 to 6 months disability lifting with 0 weights. Oh, God.
So okay, here's what I know. I've worked for doctors since I was 20 years old, okay, nearly 30 years. And I know that after surgery, you need post-operative care. Okay, I didn't say therapy.
Right.
Post-operative care. Things need to happen so you can heal, be strong, and get your joint back to where you can go do that thing again. So you are a perfect candidate for what I just said. Document everything that happened in a second opinion visit.
Cheryl, I answered this before. You said they say that the doctor's doing a great job and will allow me to go to federal entry centers. And you said your primary doctor is the head of the COVID clinic. Well, if it's only COVID that you have and you're at a COVID
Yeah,
clinic,
you're fine.
You're okay. There's no need to come to our office.
We'd love to have
Yeah.
you, but you don't need to. I wouldn't, and it's my company. I don't recommend it. I think you're being well taken care of already, according to you. And if you're not, okay, that's something you have to decide. But we have this franchise of doctors, but that doesn't mean that we're saying, oh, you must come here. You don't have to come to our offices. I mean, look, you're here with me now. I'm teaching you, and you don't have to be a patient with our offices. If you're being well taken care of with the doctor you have right now, I'm happy for you. And that's what I want for you.
Yeah, unless you're having some other issues. I know you said it's a long haul COVID clinic. So if you're not having anything outside of that, and if that doctor is the head of the COVID clinic, let's just say you have a respiratory or a lung issue, he should be able to send you out to a pulmonologist or whoever he needs to send you to. So maybe just have a little bit more conversation with him. But if it's something outside of COVID, like maybe an injury, then I can understand why you want to go to another office or federal entry centers. Yeah. But if he's gotten your claim accepted and you're doing okay, I think you should stay and not cause any problems.
Yeah, I think that's awesome for you that everything's accepted. It sounds like things for you are smooth. I would recommend not changing from your doctor.
But if there's something else that you want to discuss and not put it on here, you can always message us after the live is over and we'll review it.
Yeah, of course.
Judy Rogers, my second opinion doctor stated I was fine and wouldn't perform surgery at all. He wouldn't even look at my doctor's note. He only went off of the DMA report.
So the reason that is the claims examiner sends them certain documentation and says, use this. I think that sucks. Okay. I hate that so much, but that's the rules that they have to follow. Those are rules. Okay. Like write your congressman. Those are the rules. That's the rules, laws, and regulations. So they're doing it. I used to say, and I still believe this, that you can bring your own documentation and hand it directly to the second opinion doctor and say, look, I think this is going to be important. I'm sure they didn't send you the results of my recent MRI, but I'd like you to see it. Now, here's the cool thing about that. You're showing a medical doctor some medical documentation that would help that doctor make a medical decision. And if that doctor refuses to look at it, you document it because you got your pen and paper. I handed the doctor my MRI and he refused to review it. I hope that doesn't happen, but hypothetically, let's say it does. then that's documentable. Like you're going to document that and say, look, I'm at a medical visit and this medical doctor didn't want to look at my medical documentation. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So just document it. But on the flip side, that doctor may say, oh, let me look at that and be awesome like my guy from Rutgers. Right. So you give yourself a fighting chance to win by trying. So try that.
Just a quick shout out to Federal Injury Centers of Virginia Beach with Dr. Clark.
What's up?
If anybody's interested or in the Chesapeake, Virginia Beach area, you can give them a call if you are injured or send your friends that need some help. Charlotte Wren said, thank you. I wish I knew this earlier, but I don't know. But I know and can help a few people that are facing the second opinion doctor. Send them to this page and let them watch this video or just give them the info.
Yeah.
We have Federal Injury Centers of Cleveland on here. If anybody's in the Cleveland, Ohio area.
They're just crushing it. We didn't say this, but first thing was Greenville. They're on, yeah.
Oh, well, welcome, Wendy with Federal Injury Centers of Greenville. Those are you that are in the Greenville, anywhere outside of Greenville, there's an office there to help you.
So if you're new, what happens here is some of our franchisees will come on and just say hello. And sometimes they're here and they'll just answer some of your questions, which is awesome because like you get a doctor talking to you in a lot of cases, like Dr. Cooper from Atlanta will talk to you. And I think that's awesome. We allow them to come on and just communicate and interact. So say hi. That's what they're here for.
Frank. Hey, Frank from Branch 41 in New York. How are you? Marilyn Evans.
Frank.
Yeah, you just spoke to him.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Marilyn Evans. I'm a veteran and I need surgery on my knee, which is service connected. Do I need a CA2?
Well, okay. So a CA2 is to claim an injury that happened over a period of time, not in one single shift. Okay. So if you have a condition that is made worse, inflamed, whatever by the job, and it happened over a period of time, that's a CA2. If it happened in one single shift, you do a CA1. It is what it is at all times. So you're not wrong. Whatever you do is right. As long as you think, oh, well, my knee just started hurting over time. That's a CA2. Or I stepped out of a vehicle or tripped over something and I hurt myself. That's a CA1. What's up, Frank?
Okay, so Marilyn, I hope that answers your question. If not, you can put more on here or you can message us after. Michael Burnside, if I go to Federal Injury Centers, do I have to go there also for my therapy? Because I'm 300 miles away. Geek.
Michael, no, the answer is no. So we have a poster that's in all of our reception rooms, and it's compliance rules. This is us communicating to you the way we function, the way we operate, so that everyone knows that we don't break the rules. Well, one of the things is we have a financial interest in this therapy center, and you can take your prescription for therapy anywhere you want. So we live by that. You don't have to go 300 miles 3 days a week to go to therapy. Doesn't that sound silly, just the way I put it? So you have to know that's the way I think. I'm a business owner. The franchise belongs to me. I love for you to come to my offices, but please, if you live 300 miles away, let's help you find something close to home.
Lori Fisher, or if you don't live on what he said, find a place that'll make sure that you don't have to pay out of pocket for your PT because it can add up. Yeah,
that's a real problem. You know, a lot of the places you go to, like let's say the 300-mile thing, you find something close to home that'll accept you, which is awesome, and I'm happy for that. A lot of times they don't understand OWCP. In fact, like 9 out of 10 times, and so they want your health insurance or they want you to pay out of pocket. And so that's what we're trying to help you avoid, because nobody ever pays a penny to come to a Federal Injury Center's office ever, no matter what.
Like you can come for 100 therapies. I'm just saying a number. You
1,000.
Won't have to pay.
1,000.
Yeah, you won't ever have to pay.
And the Department of Labor can deny 999 of those, and we only get paid for one. We will never charge you. That's just not. We don't do it that way. We don't want your money.
Yeah.
We want to get your claim accepted and have the government cover it because you're a federal employee. You deserve that.
But I did get a message once that somebody wanted to do this physical therapy. They're like, can you call them and just tell them what you guys are all about? Well, we don't reach out. They would have to call us if you want them to.
Otherwise, I'd be on the phone all day, every day.
Lori Fisher, I read something about you only have 30 days to contact a claims examiner following a second opinion report if needing a referral doctor. Can you discuss?
Wait, read that again?
I read something about you only have 30 days to contact the claims examiner following a second opinion report if needing a referral doctor. Can you discuss?
Yeah, I don't know where you read that. I've read everything. I've never heard of that before. There are timelines. 30 days is a timeline for continuation of pay, but I've never seen it on in regard to second opinion visits. And again, no kidding, no exaggeration. I've literally read every word of the rules, laws, and regulations related to that. So I'm not sure what that is about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Serena Locke, the district medical examiner has denied my expansion for cervical stenosis. This is the first person to look at my case in over a year. No CCOMP, nothing. What else? What is the next step? I do go to Federal Injury Centers of Cleveland.
Yeah. So give Kevin the denial letter. Kevin is the case manager there. Give him the denial letter that denied that diagnosis expansion, and Kevin will share that with me, and I'll help work through that.
So Kevin is on here. Kevin, Andrew, if you're on here, connect with Miss.
Yeah, Kevin, get that, and then let's you and I discuss that denial letter, and we'll work through it.
Okay. Marilyn, thank you. I will message your call. It's best to just go on Messenger and message me. That way you have it. And I get pretty busy with my phone calls. Dr. Cooper is on there with Federal Injury Centers of Forest Park and
Phoenix City.
Phoenix City,
Alabama.
yes.
Yeah.
Lonnie Duke. Hey, Lonnie.
What's up, Lonnie?
It's been a minute. He said, hello, all. I'm listening in as I always learn something from these chat sessions. Aw.
We're always glad to have you.
Yeah. All right, you go ahead. I'm going to go look and see if anybody left messages elsewhere.
Well, okay, so we've talked about like the most common reason for you to get a second opinion visit, and it's that like your diagnosis is not matching your time out of work. But in general, I think it's important for you to understand that if you're out of work for a long time, and a long time is a subjective term, okay? What is a long time to you means something different to you than to me, than to her. But if the claims examiner starts to feel like you're out a long time, or the nurse case manager, you're getting a second opinion visit. So the other thing I'll tell you, and it's the same thing I tell our franchise doctors, get people back to work, right? And we're not the company doctor. I've said this so many times. There's probably going to be some like reel somewhere that's like a whole long clip of Chris saying what I'm about to tell you, and it's going to make me look bad. But let me say this. We're not the company doctor, all right? I am not friends with your supervisors, and they're not friends with me, okay? They would say, if they knew me, I hate that guy, for sure, okay? Because what do? I get your claims accepted. I teach you the rules, and you show up tomorrow at work, hopefully, with a greater knowledge of the system than your management ever had. And they don't like that because it's easy to beat you when you don't understand the rules. So supervisors and I are not friends. All right. So I need to say that so I can say the rest of this. You got to go back to work, because when you're at home, it's hard to get paid. You got to jump through hoops when you're on LWAP. They make you turn in tons of documentation. If the CA7 isn't filled out perfectly, you don't get paid. If your supervisor accidentally or on purpose changes your rate of pay, you don't get paid right. It's just a nightmare. It's a big hassle. But when you go to work, you clock in. Yeah. And I always say it's a Chrisism, okay, things that Chris says frequently. The surest way to get paid is to clock in. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to get back to work and clock in. I don't want my friend Rich Ray to call me from New York and say, again, Chris, my carriers are still going homeless. I don't want that to happen. All right, I'm tired of seeing you folks go homeless. I'm tired of you struggling to pay rent, to get your kids in college. And I don't want to hear the next person hurting themselves or worse, okay, because they can't take it anymore. The easiest way for you to get paid is to clock in. And so I said all of that, and I was really detailed, to say our policy at Federal Injury Centers is to get you back to work as soon as humanly possible. That's what the CA17 is for. It's why it's so important. It's because your supervisor can tell us what you physically have to do, and our doctors can write restrictions so you can go do it. Then you get to clock in. When you clock in, you get paid. It's automatic. They can't restrict your pay just because you're on work restrictions.
Right.
So I said all of that because a big reason you go to a second opinion visit is because you're out of work. And you should be at work at some level, if at all possible. And the only reason you should be home is because your supervisor made every possible effort to find a limited duty offer and couldn't find one. And so now you're at home on the rolls, not on LWOP. It is LWOP. You're not having to fill out CA7s. You're just getting paid, right? Because your supervisor said, we don't have work. But the other thing is, like, depending on your craft, if you're out of work a year or 2 years, depending on your craft, they can remove you from that position. They can, like, give your route if you're a carrier to somebody else, for example, right? So it's in your interest to get back to work as soon as medically possible. I said humanly possible. That's just a thing I say. But as soon as medically possible, you need to get back to work at some level, with or without restrictions, get back there. Now, I'm not a doctor, okay? And your return to work is a medical decision. Your doctor is deciding what is safe for you to do with the injury that you have.
Yeah.
And so your supervisors also have to follow doctor's orders, and they often don't. And when they don't, you got to go to your union and file a grievance. They have to follow the CA-17. A lot of times supervisors will say, okay, yeah, we've got an offer that matches your CA-17. And then you show up and you're only supposed to lift 20 pounds and you're lifting 70. You're only supposed to stand or walk for 5 hours a day and you're on your feet for 8.
Right.
So you got to keep up with that and make sure that your supervisors are continually following doctor's orders, and file a grievance with the union if they're not. But just understand that if you're out of work for a period of time that seems out of whack for what's going on, you're going to get a second opinion visit, and that's always going to turn bad for you. And when that does, don't forget to document the visit the way I told you earlier.
Yeah. We have UU Marquez.
What's up?
How are you? We have Federal Injury Centers of Kansas City on here, Dr. Pearson's office. If those of you are in the Kansas City area or want to make the drive because it's closer, give them a call. All right, what else you got for second opinions?
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, I think it's just important that you understand that most of the time you're getting second opinion visits because you're out of work or your diagnosis doesn't make sense. So you got to make sure that your doctor has documented everything in your diagnosis, that your case file includes all the relevant, legit diagnoses, not just a sprain, unless it is just a sprain, and then it is what it is. You want to make sure you document your second opinion visits to the minute. Don't round up or down, to the minute. Document everything that happened and when it happened. And then get back to work as soon as medically possible. And that way you can avoid these second opinion visits. Unfortunately, the second opinion system is broken. And the claims examiners say it too. It's a broken system. And I don't want you to have to go through it. And the good news is the goal in work comp is to get you back to work anyways. So let's just see what we can do to get you back as soon as medically possible and avoid all of this hassles anyways. So that's where I'm at with second opinion visits. If I could take charge of it, I would fix it. But right now, I'm not in charge of second opinion visits yet. If it ever happens, I'll let you know.
Tammy Cloud, need to see what is in my e-comp. I had a stroke and I have a lot of CA-17s.
Yeah. We can help you. Let us know. I'll get somebody to get in touch with you if we can. But yeah, I definitely agree. You need to know what's in that file.
I know a lot of you are saying that we're skipping a little bit. Okay. Remember, we do have like full Wi-Fi, and I could see it skipping on here too, but we are still 10,000 plus feet up in the mountains. So that's like the only issue, and it is raining here. So that's why we're skipping. Sorry about that.
Hey, it's better than hotel Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah, this is the reason we bought.
It was so bad last
Wi-Fi.
week that we went to T-Mobile and we bought our own like mobile Wi-Fi thing. Whatever. I'm not a techie guy, but it's been a heck of a lot better than the hotel had.
Yeah, we have a Federal Injury Centers of McAllen, Texas on
McAllen.
Tonight. If you guys are in the McAllen area or outside of that.
That's about as far south as you can go and not still be in Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, it's from McAllen. Yeah, it's around the border in Texas.
Okay, not this again. We don't do spam on our page.
No spam.
So we're going to delete that. Sorry, sir.
I saw that one too. Yeah, sorry, Bernard. Sorry, Bernie.
Nestor Torres, I have 2 surgeries on my ankles. I went back to work and still have some pain on my ankle. Can I get some, what is it? Cane of rewards? Do you know what that means?
Can I get a schedule award? Maybe that's what that is.
Can I get a schedule award?
Yeah, that's what that is.
Yes.
Yeah, the ankle is definitely qualifies for a schedule award. I don't know what your award will be, but the ankle qualifies for it.
Yeah, and so if you're looking for a scheduled ward doctor, just message me. I'll get you over to Eric Blowers.
Tammy says my doctor is doing
So
nothing but therapy. I don't know. Look, I'm not a doctor, and I don't know what is medically indicated for your injury, but I can't answer that because I'm not a doctor.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Tammy, you either have to talk to your doctor or
Yeah, communicate
switch
to the doctor.
doctors.
Say, hey, this
Yeah.
isn't working. Can we do something else? Beth Clifford, I'm not sure if you're seeing it because it could be from a different page.
Yeah.
Said, can an accepted condition be removed due to second opinion doctor visit? Can. Okay, if you know me, you know that I'm really big on cans and can'ts. The answer to any can question is yeah. Anything can happen. I don't often see it, but it can happen. Yes.
And there was something I was going to touch on. Oh, last week we talked about CA7s, CA16s, and CA7s, 17s on how to file them and what to do. So those of you that have those questions, that was on last week's video.
Yeah, just go take a look at it. I'm still happy to answer them here, but yeah, we did a whole video on it last week.
All right. What other questions do you guys have on second opinions? Because a lot of you wind up sending me your paperwork, and I'm like, you got to show this to the doctor.
So Christian said, my impairment is determined 20%. I've been out of work since 2019. Can I request a lump sum? So they used to do lump sums all the time. I'm not sure if they still do. Can you request it? Here we go again. Can? Yes.
Just ask.
You sure can request it. But generally they don't do that anymore, but it doesn't mean they can't do it. There's nothing wrong with trying.
Oh, this is what I wanted to touch on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just touch on this. We're not gonna get too much into it. We only have about 15 minutes left. Denials. When you guys get a denial, and this just happened 2-3 days ago and today, do not wait 5 days before your denial is done. Like, I saved this guy today to tell him what to do. I think he had like 3 or 4 days, and I'm, because I was telling you this morning, don't wait. Message us if you don't understand. Message us immediately when you get a denial, but please read the denial, because it'll say, you know, you have
specifically your claim is denied because, or
Because.
specifically your claim for compensation, specifically your whatever is denied because. So let me say this a little differently. She said, don't wait. Let me put this a different way. As soon as you receive a letter in the mail, do something about it. Read it immediately, open it immediately. It says United States Department of Labor. It's not junk mail. Open it up,
yeah.
take a look, read it, take it to your doctor. Hey doc, what does this mean? And have your doctor read it. We do this, like our case managers in our offices, they just do this. This is what we do. But you got to take it if you're like in Iowa or Idaho and there's no doctors. You got to take it and say, hey, what's this mean? Or I think this is what it means. Here's what it says. You have to respond to it. If you get a denial to do a reconsideration, you have 12 months. If you wait 12 months on one day, you can no longer appeal it.
Right.
You could do oral hearing and you could do review of the written record. I don't like those, but your unions lots of times do. So if your union rep wants to do an oral hearing, do that for sure, because you'll have your union rep there helping you. And I think that's awesome. I would never go do it alone, ever, no matter what. But you have 12 months from every denial to do a reconsideration where they will consider new information from your doctor. And so don't wait till like 5 days left after 12 months.
Yeah.
You know, you wait 11 months and 26 days, you're in trouble.
Okay, so, and that person also said they had an oral hearing and that got denied. This is why we say get your denials in and go back to your doctor to get that taken care of. Because once you, let's just say it went past the date that you were supposed to get your denial in, your year and 1 day has been expired.
It's over.
You really can't do anything much. I mean, even Eric has said that it's
tough.
It's really, really hard. It's worse than even filing your claim, like literally.
Yeah. So Vince said, I've never received anything in the mail. That may be, Vince. I would make sure they have your right mailing address, number one, because everyone receives stuff at their home address. But everything they mail to you is in your e-comp case file. You can find it there.
Yeah, and we know, because we've been told by several people, make sure you review everything when you submit it, because back in the paper days, the supervisor scratched out the girl's email with whiteout and had all her mail go to the post office so he could see what was going on with her. So please make sure you have the correct address and just check your stuff on eComp all the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna read a couple of things here. So Christian, this is a follow-up to something.
Oh, okay.
You need to probably speak with Eric Blowers. He's our lawyer. He's your lawyer if you want him to be. He specializes in schedule awards. Had multiple different impairment ratings, so that's a serious problem. Send us a private message, and Gini is like the direct link to Eric Blowers, the god of schedule awards from lawyering.
Even he can't get Eric to call him.
Go to her. And but all joking aside, you need help, and Eric is your guy.
Victor, you're here.
What's up, Victor?
We can't wait to see you in Orlando either. So, Christian Parker, all three physicians.
That's the one I just responded to.
Oh, okay. Donna Swift. Hi, y'all. Hello.
Okay, Donna, this one's really long. I'm probably gonna need this read a couple of times.
You want to can you read it from there?
No, it's too long.
She said, so I got my...
Hold on. I don't mean too long in a negative way. It's so long that my screen doesn't hold it. That's all.
Yeah, so let me do it.
Go ahead.
So I got my approval back October 2020, which was like pulling teeth to get my concussion doctor to write it properly. She always looked at me as if I was lying. Anyway, she then gave me work limits for a few months. Then she told me this is as good as it gets, so learn to live with your limitations, and sent me back to work. I have struggled ever since. Recently, I changed offices. It's a lot of back road, curvy, bumpy, bad. My sub wrecked my metric van, so I got an LLV. No shocks. It's causing a lot of TBI conditions to be bad again. Going to second appeal, but they called before my last appointment.
Tell me there's nothing else I could do. I cried. Now I have another appointment thanks to my PCP. This will never leave me. What steps should I take? Okay, so number one, if you're in a vehicle or you're in any situation at work that is causing your current accepted condition to worsen, to add symptoms, then that's a problem. You got to go back to your doctor and say, hey, you got to write restrictions and say, I can't drive that curvity road, or I got to be in a car with shocks, or I don't know what it would be. But you don't have to just tolerate it. You don't have to just take it. You have an accepted condition that you have a right to get help for. And a concussion is a real thing. It's a serious problem. You know, it reminds me of that movie Concussion.
Oh, yeah.
The football movie with Will Smith. And the NFL forever, and this is not me, this is that movie. The NFL forever denied that concussions were a problem for guys that hit each other in the head all the time for a living. And they just deny it. And it's sad. Upsets me. Okay, I'll just put it nicely. You've got a concussion. And there are, and I'm not a doctor, but I understand that there are symptoms, there are things that happen to people with concussions. Yeah. It's a problem.
It is a problem.
So,
especially driving through bumpy roads,
you need
your head rattling.
You need to get better restrictions from a CA-17 from your doctor. That's what I recommend, because you shouldn't have to deal with that. And if your doctor says this is just as good as it gets and there's nothing else I can do, find another one. And you can get a referral from your existing doctor to a new doctor. And I recommend finding somebody who specializes in concussions, but maybe is a little more compassionate.
You said my OWCP nurse wants a second opinion. Is it normal that OWCP calls me every week? It's stressful. Oh, funny, because people try to call them and they can't get a response.
Funny. It's not normal to get a call every week, but there's nothing I can say about it. There's no rule preventing it. They can do it. They can do it.
Vince said, hurt my arm in February and had no idea to file for compensation for days off.
It's not too late. Once your claim gets accepted, you can go ahead and do that. You can go and file a CA-7, try to get that old time back.
Tammy, I'm reading your thing here about your supervisor did not want my paper, legitimate work. Okay, Tammy, you can request by email through your eComp, request to speak to the supervisor of that claims examiner and discuss your issue.
Yeah, you're not going to get them right away,
yeah.
But they should eventually get back to you.
The best advice we could give you on that.
Yeah.
George Perez, I had surgery on my shoulder last July. Oh, okay. I had shoulder on my surgery last July. I never applied for a schedule award. I still experience pain. Therefore, the doctor requested a total shoulder replacement. The approval was for TSR was approved, same shoulder. Does each surgery have a schedule award or is it combined and considered one incident?
So schedule awards are based on the body part. Or in fact, a schedule award is based on the limb. Like if you have a shoulder problem, according to Eric, the lawyer, the schedule award will consider your entire arm. If you have a problem on the other arm, that's a different award. Schedule awards are not cumulative but if they're all in the same claim, I guess. But your shoulder is its own award for that whole arm. That's how that works. Just real quick, because I see you're not seeing them all. Donna McNabb said, if you're being treated and have not reached MMI yet, how would retiring affect your treatment? It does not affect your treatment, Donna. It affects your pay because you're not going to get paid to be out of work to go to therapy anymore or whatever. But you have lifetime medical. So as long as the treatment is medically necessary, you can continue getting it.
All right. Let's see. Let me check one last place, see if we have any more messages. Oh, 11 comments here.
So she's checking like 8 different places to find messages. So that's why, like, because we're on so many different social media platforms. So just bear with us. We want to help everybody. If we missed your question, ask it again. It definitely wasn't on purpose. Sometimes it's like a firing squad. So help me, help you. Just ask it again.
It's cute because I see Victor and Dr. Dorfman going back and forth.
Dr. Dorfman's on here?
Yeah,
What's up? Dave Dorfman from Melbourne, Florida. We love him.
Melbourne, Orlando.
Yep. Melbourne and Orlando. That's right.
All right. Let's see. Anything else come across here? All right. So no. All right. So today we went over
second opinions.
All about second opinion doctors. If you have any other questions or if you're watching this on the replay, you can go ahead and shoot us a private message or you can comment below still and we'll be able to answer those questions. And
that's about it.
That's about it. I was like, wait,
You're always looking for the next thing to say. The next thing is we're wrapping up here, but don't forget to go to the Breaking OWCP podcast with Chris and Gini.
This will be on there, actually.
All of our Wednesday night chats end up on the podcast. Our great guy, Robert, does all the edits. So when it comes out on the podcast, it's way cleaner than this live video. You can always go back and watch it. If you're on the West Coast and you're just getting off of work and you had to miss this whole thing, don't worry about it. It's going to be on the podcast. So go check out the Breaking OWCP podcast with Chris and Gini, wherever you listen to podcasts. That's where we're at.
Oh, I gotta read this.
Oh.
What should you do if another patient's information is in your second opinion report? What?
Well, let your claim examiner know. Look, as I said earlier, I've been in healthcare for 30 years, and I know that people make mistakes, especially administrative people. They make mistakes. It was an accident. Just let them know that needs to be removed from your case file.
Yeah. Let's see. Donna McNabb. I've been sent for a second opinion and their doctor agrees with everything your doctor is doing and also requesting adding my carpal tunnel on my wrist. I was shocked.
Wow. Well, like I said, like my guy from Rutgers, like occasionally you come across one, you're like, wow, that's gold. We really love it. All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up here. I know there's some more comments coming in. We'll get to them and look at your notifications on Facebook. You'll see when we respond to it, or we'll have somebody answer it. But this is what we do every week. We just try to spend the hour helping as many people as possible. We hope that you got a lot of help from us tonight. Keep your questions coming. We're happy to answer them. You'll just see that we'll type the answers in or somebody else will. And like Christian said, I'll message you. Yes, absolutely. Send us a Facebook message. Those Facebook messages make it easier for us to help you because we can just maybe farm that out to somebody. We've got a whole staff of people that are happy to help. And then come back next week and every week thereafter, just check in on Wednesday night chats every day. We have stuff that gets posted, little reels, little nice nuggets that are helpful to you. We're always putting content out there that will help you navigate the OWCP system. So we look forward to being able to helping you. And I feel like I'm about to answer a new question.
Ms. Perez, you said, is it beneficial to wait to complete your shoulder replacement? I would, because there's you have up until the day you die.
I'd like to answer this question differently.
Your schedule award.
I'm going to answer it differently. Jorge says, is it beneficial to wait and complete the total shoulder replacement surgery before applying for the award? Does it matter? So I think you should do whatever is medically necessary for yourself to feel better and have strength and motion and all that right now. But Jorge, you should really speak to Eric Blowers about that, because you're asking, does it matter? And I believe you mean financially, will it change my award? And I think you should speak to the expert at that. Send us a private message, and Gini will get you in touch with Attorney Blowers, and you'll get a really great answer on that one.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube.
And TikTok is breaking OWCP, so go check that out.
If your friends don't have social media, they can always watch us on YouTube. We do not delete videos. Always go back and look at our videos tab to see what we've talked about the prior week.
All right. So look, it's been great. Come back and see us next week. If you still have questions, keep them coming. We will get those questions answered. We are needing to eat dinner, so it might not happen right now, but we'll get to you. It was great having you here. Thank you. Tell your friends, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys.